Well, today we are still in that same category, as you say, they say it's a detached Yokut country. Well, it consists of many of tribal members now. We have Monos, we have Tuli, we have out-of-state, we also have intermarriages, all these things. Our bloodline is dropping and dropping, and pretty soon some of those new generations will be eligible to be a tribal member because of their bloodline. It's getting thin now. We're getting down probably to 1/8, 1/16, and all those things. Then that's in our deal. It says you have to be quarter breed in order to be California. It says, and then so those are the things that we're looking at now. But we still have our young ones still coming yet, and we're trying to teach them all the stuff that we know, the tradition, the culture, and everything else, Most of all, we'd like to teach them the language, because the language, there's only probably 8 of us in the whole tribe right now that knows our language besides myself. And I even try to teach some of my elders. They call me once in a while, "Hey, how did you say this word here?" So, what happened? You forget your language already? They say, "Hey, I'm forgetting. I ain't got nobody to talk to no more." And that's the whole thing right now. Before, in the early 50s and 40s, we had grandma there, and it was a fluent language. It was just always, she didn't know how to talk English very much, but she knew how to cuss you out a little bit. But other than that, that was the everyday language for me. So it's like when I went back to school, when I started school, then they says, "Well, I knew what they were talking about and everything else," and I said, "Yeah, and I talked to them, "Yeah, Ben Trechal," and "Oh no, you can't talk that way." I said, "Why not? My grandma talks to me." They said, "No, this and here, you got to learn our language." I said, "Oh, so they said, well, we're going to put you in a class one-on-one." I said, "It's going to be a deal that you have to go every day for, I don't know how long." I was up probably all the way up to the 4th grade. I had a one-on-one counseling with a speech therapist. They said, "No, you got to say it this way. You got to do this." And I said, "Oh." Finally, I guess they learned enough, and then they left me alone. Then after that, I was on my own at the school, at Central Union. Another thing was the catechism, the religion portion of it. They said, "Oh, you have to go to this place." There was a little church or whatever it was there on the south side of the school there. And every Wednesday we had to go down there for an hour, And these nuns would come there, and they would say, "Well, this is the part of the Bible. This is how Jesus was, and this is what his whole thing, his whole concept. They're trying to divert us." And then they said, "You got to do all these things." I said, "Well, okay." So I went through the whole thing, all the way up to matrimony, from the communion, confirmation, marriage, the whole bit, and all that stuff. The only thing I never made was the altar boy, because I was a naughty boy. Yeah, anyway, but in those times too, we were there, and you'd get out of line in the catechism, and the nun, believe it or not, she'd come by with a ruler and say, "Put your hand out there," and go, "Pow!" right in your hand, and I said, "Oh, dang." So I thought these were supposed to be dignified, peaceful ladies, but I said, I guess it's everybody has that attitude problem sometimes, And then from there, after school and everything else, then when I was about 20 years old, 21, my comrades here, Cootie was one of them, a couple of others, we were out there having a good time, drinking beer one day, and they said, "Hey, got elections coming up." They said, "Why don't you run?" I said, I gotta be doing that stuff. And they said, "Oh, no, we'll nominate you." I said, "What's that?" We'll put you in there. So we're all over there about half lit. We went to the tribal meeting they had, and there was only maybe 10 or 12 people at the time. And they were in the schoolhouse that they had. So we go down there, and they said, "Yeah, we want to put Kay over here for our chief." "Oh, you guys get out of here. You guys are a bunch of drunks, We were just having a good time. So I went to work and I come back, and one day when I was coming back, then seeing all the guys out there getting ready to have a party. "Hey, whose birthday is that?" "Ain't no birthday." "Well, what happened then? What's the whole deal?" "Hey, you're the new chief." "What? You got elected?" I said, "Well, what does that mean?" He said, "Oh, you're going to be the new chief for our tribe." I said, "Wow." So I go down to we had a little old trailer though, probably a 10 by 12 trailer. That was our tribal headquarters. And somebody donated that to us. And then William Thomas was the chairman at the time. So, hey, William said, what do I have to do now? I said, they said I have to be a chairman now. I said, oh, you got to read these letters that come in from the government. He said, you get them all day long. He said, oh, okay, what else? He said, oh, you got to go to a meeting once a month with the BIA and the big shots in Sacramento. I said, dang, how do I get there, you know? He said, well, if you got a car, you can drive, or if you got, you can get a bus or a train. I said, yeah, but where the money comes from? So, oh, yeah, the government give us $800 a year to travel with. I said, oh, okay. So I said, $800. I said, I look at it today and I said, that's not even one day's per diem for us here, you know. And I look at that and I said, wow, $800 a month. So what was really funny though is I got it in there and I opened these letters and I'm reading all these big long words. I said, what does this mean? You know, so I had my little pocket dictionary. It took me 1 week to read one letter and I had a stack. I said, oh, I got to do something about this, I said. So there was a program that came on with President of American Indian Council. And then Jeff Davis was he was the director. And I went and talked to him. I said, hey, you know, I got these deals. Well, I said, for one thing, we got to try to get you guys out of that trailer. You know, why? That's our tribal. No, I said, you need a big building and something pretty. So in '76, I think they had the bicentennial grants that came out, and Curtis Nordwall, he was from the BIA, and he was a good friend of mine. And then I got to know him and everything, and he said, hey, Chief, he said, I'm going to write a grant on behalf of Santa Rosa Rancheria to get you guys a community building. He says, I'm going to see how it goes. You know. Oh, I said, we need all the help we can get. I said, yeah, our trailer's kind of small. You know, so about in October, he calls up and he says, hey, he says, we have to take you and William and Dorothy and all the rest of them to San Diego. You're going to fly down there. Oh, man, fly. Yeah, he says, got to go down there. They want to do an interview with you and everything. You got this bicentennial grant to build your community building for, I don't know, it was $100-something thousand, I think it was. So he said, well, how do we get there now? I said, you know, I asked the guys, you know, I asked everybody, hey, you guys got a car to get to San Diego? How far is that? Way down south. I don't know how far. Long ride, I told them. So President of American Indian Council came through again. They said, hey, you know, don't worry about it. I said, we'll get you there. I said, we'll get your plane tickets. Be here at 9:30. I said, you'll be in San Diego by 11. I said, 11? I said, oh, you guys are crazy. So we get on the plane, and we're there sitting down. I said, hey, you ever fly? No, you? No. We were all sitting there, all three of us sitting there holding hands. I said, hey, we better make our prayer before we go. I said, so they come by, they said, drinks, you know, anybody want a drink? I said, yeah, you got coffee or soda or water? He said, oh, you want soda? Yeah, I'll take one. What kind? I said, I'll take whatever you got. They gave us the soda. We were drinking it, and me and William and Dorothy, and we took a couple of drinks. We were sitting there. We were starting to descend down, and said, where are we at? I said, I think we're coming into Bakersfield. He said, oh, really? I said, hey, that's pretty good, he said. And then the intercom come on and said, well, everybody put your trays up and get ready to prepare for landing. We're coming into San Diego. I said, hey, we even finished our drink. We're already here. So we said, dang, that was a quick ride. You know, I thought we were going to enjoy this long ride. I said, don't take much. It said, you know. So that's how I got started in tribal politics. And
well, let's stand by, come in.